Greetings, fellow explorers. Rodamon here. Thank you for tuning in to Vintage Story Primitive Survival. Episode 2, Searching the Island for Clay. Shovel number 3. And once I start to have daylight, my priorities are going to change, FYI. This is just like something I can do at night while being productive. Despite this being a role-playing series, so canonically in Vintage Story, the player is what is called a seraph, which is like an angel, which they're very mortal, but it explains why they like don't need to sleep, perhaps. Let's pretend that that's the case, because I don't intend to sleep. I don't, unless I need to heal or something. All right, we're almost done with the little fishy wharf. And then I'll just need sticks. You just learned how realistic this game is? Yep. Yep. And you've seen nothing yet. What I'm trying to do is like shave some of the ledged pond here so I can get out of the water if I'm in. Because you can't climb a 2-block height. So, you know, when you're in the water. Which means that you would be stuck. Oh, wow, I had that much dirt on me? Oopsie. Alright, now that that's done, next step. Fill up my food. I am going to nap another axe blade because I'm sure I'm about to break my axe. Alright, let's cut some more wood. And then sticks. And then with the 58 sticks I've got, create steaks. Sticks into steaks. And I broke my knife. Shaving the sticks into steaks. Hey, Sashi. Thank you for the resub. Alright, let's set up some weirs. Oh, yeah, I'm not done. Oh, of course, I'm an idiot. Yeah, that was gonna happen. I'm trying to make it so that I can get in the water, but also see what the hell I'm doing. So let's do it like this. Boop. All right. So we'll start it here. We put a stake in a upside down U shape, and then middle click the middle, and just keep going. And these can trap fish. Fish will swim in it and kind of get stuck. And for now, I'll just make 5 of them. Oops, that was a misclick. There. So we have these little fish weirs that can capture fish. I have more stakes. Maybe I'll make another few. I'll put them over here. So 2 there, and I'll do symmetrical 2 over here too. Oopsie. You like the water effects? Yeah, the game is very pretty. A lot of weather effects going on right now. Alright, the rest of these stakes... yeah, I'm not going to worry about it. So we got our weirs. Oh, that might have broke that weir. There we go. We got our weirs, and now we can start to passively catch fish. They will get captured in these, and then we'll eat them. It's 4 in the morning in game, which means I will likely have some daylight here in a moment. And then we'll be able to do searching for likely clay and copper, depending on the weather. Oh, right, soft ground only. This is just like kind of a pointless fence. I had extra stakes. I didn't want to waste them. Okay, so it's starting to get light out. I'm actually able to see what's going on. And we're going to be looking for clay and copper now. Another thing that would be handy to do is to get more storage for the base here. Also, torches will burn out if you leave them for too long. So if I reset them like you just saw me do, they'll last longer. So to save some room in my inventory, I'm just going to stack firewood there. Done. I'll put my fire starter away. Yeah, there's not much else I can put down at the moment, unfortunately. So it's actually pretty easy to get to the other side. Without getting dunked. So where I've chosen to base is not as annoying as I had initially thought. Here's my little bridge. Alright, current priority. Look for clay and copper. I mean, if I can find tin, that'd be great, but I think it's very unlikely that I'll just, like, stumble on surface tin. It's extraordinarily rare. I'm also going to want more papyrus for storage. I can make storage containers out of clay or papyrus. Either one will work. If I want it out of papyrus, heading towards the lakes makes the most sense. But I think I'm mostly going to focus on clay. Visibility still sucks terribly. It is so foggy. Yeah, here's a bunch of papyrus. I'll mark it down. It's not what I'm after at the moment. God, this weather is horrid. It's possible I'll get different weather in a different biome if I move away from this area far enough. So I'm going to head to what seems to be drier area, more arid. Hoping, yeah, it's already helping my visibility. Alright, there are hyenas. Perfect. I can actually see what the hell I'm doing. More hyenas. Hyena aggro radius is rather small. It's only like 10 blocks. And if you stab them in the face with a spear, they usually leave you alone. So I'm not like super fearful of them, in other words. And these gravel fields, now that I actually have some visibility, should help me get the copper I need. And again, I'm looking for, ideally, 40 nuggets. And anything else that I stumble upon, I'll grab as well. I'm going to mark down these turnips. I'm not going to grab them at the moment. Ooh, hello. You can imagine if it was really foggy, I wouldn't be able to see the... Oh, here we go. Native copper bits. And the native copper bits on the surface indicate that there is a subsurface vein to mine once you have a mining pick. And I have an automap mod that maps it for me automatically. So as you can see, wild crops, mature turnips, native copper bits. I don't actually need to write every time because, you know, it's annoying. Oh, look how, like, they don't care. Once I have, like, hunting equipment... Oh, actually, I should mark that down. This is very densely hyena territory. And when I have a hunting bow and maybe some, like, basic armor or whatever... Oh, and we also have impala, or gazelle. I think that's gazelle. Doesn't really matter what it is, just that I mark it. So I've got 7 copper bits. Let's keep looking. That's a nice mod? Yeah, sure is. Every now and then it goes a little crazy when you allow it to mark. Because what it tries to do is it tries to, like, cluster everything within a radius. But occasionally it will, like, mark down, like, 10 different mushrooms that are just slightly far apart from one another. But as you can see here, every time I touch the mushroom, it's not putting another mushroom down. Because it, like, assumes that it's within a cluster. So there's some logic behind it, which is really nice. Yep, they're gazelle. I do not have... So in my mod setup, as I mentioned at the start, hunting is not something that I can do easily for good yield until later on. So I'm not going to bother killing any animals for that reason, because without butchering equipment, I would get a tiny fraction of the meat and leather and fat. And it's not worth it, in my opinion. Not unless I'm starving to death, which I am not, because there is so many termites around that I have no issue feeding myself. I could do without a sandstorm, though, but the game's like, I hear you like low visibility. Let me help you. Oh, there's another hyena. Man, they're everywhere. I'm also collecting bone, because you can make, making sure I'm not being chased. You can make longer-lasting tools with bone. Frickin', come on, weather, cooperate. I've had fog, sandstorm. So making bone tools helps flint napped knife blades and the like last a little bit longer. You can also crush bone for bone meal for fertilizer. It's not something I intend to do with it anytime soon, but just saying it's possible. And if you guys in chat see any orangey bits, feel free to... I mean, I know I have, like, the whole no backseating, but, like, calling out that I overlooked copper, I wouldn't consider necessarily backseating. Don't do it, dude. Don't start something you can't finish. Now, if you're wondering where to find native copper, let me just explain that real quick. So native copper bits are going to be in certain host rocks. So if you're wondering if it can exist where you are, if I like hold shift click and click the granite here, granite can have tin, bismuth, chromium, titanium, iron, copper, etc. So if the rock biome, or rather the strata that you're in, allows for it, you're good. So this is granite sand, indicating that there's granite stone underneath, and granite stone can have copper, which means this area can have copper. So there's a few stones that... There's some materials that won't spawn in different host rocks, so just keep that in mind if you're looking for like tin, and you're in a certain stone strata that can't host tin, you can't find it. You just won't find it. It won't exist. So who here bribed the god of Vintage Story and been like, all right, let's just give him the absolute worst visibility possible to thwart all efforts? The thing is, like, I know how common copper is, so I'm sure I've, like, walked over a lot of it already. There's, like a map, a map X-ray mod that you can turn on to, like, see through the world and spot certain materials. And anytime you use that, when you're like, man, I can't find X, Y, or Z, and then you turn that on, you're like, oh my god, it's everywhere. Just out of sight. And there's the reason why I'm not going into the cave systems is I don't have a pick. So even if there is copper or tin down there, I can't make use of it. So I'm more interested in getting surface copper so that I can actually get my pick and hammer. And to that, oh god, now we're fog and sandstorm? Could just... Oh, and a thunderstorm. Great. Soon I'm gonna have like a giant worm trying to eat me or something. And some people demanding spice or something. I would also very much like to... If the visibility here sucks, maybe what I'll do is I'll take a break from looking for this and try to find clay to start working on my clay forms, and then also make charcoal. So in order to get, like, metal tools, you need to form clay into molds. Oh, hello, hyena. Where you can pour molten copper into the molds, let it solidify. But before that, we need to form the clay, and then fire the clay in a pit kiln. And that takes a day or two. It depends on your material that you're firing it with. Like, coal's better than firewood, but still, that would be a good goal if the visibility here continues to be as awful as I assume it will be. Hey, Gear, thank you for the resub. So I'm going to pop out of the, out of this, granite sand area in just a second. Oh. Yeah. Too far, too high. I am not spotting anything that looks, Oh, the cords are off? There we go. Cords are on now. So the coordinates are under the minimap. So if you end up spotting copper, you can be like, it was at XYZ. Well, I am really surrounded by hyenas everywhere. Occasionally when you have massive terrain upheaval, like sheer cliffs, you can spot metals in the cliffs. So that's why I'm looking up. I'm looking to see if I get lucky and spot something like cassiterite, which is tin, in the cliff faces, but no such luck. And I haven't yet collected the ones by the pond yet, no. Not that they would get me... even if I collected them, I wouldn't hit the 40 mark. I would hit like 12. So... I can go fetch them, but they're certainly not going to get me closer to my 40 goal. Or, I mean, they will, but not enough to go out of my way for them at the moment. God, the hyenas per acre is, like, absurd. They're all going to, like, starve to death due to a low scarcity of game. Maybe I'm the game. They'll just eat me. There's like 10 of them just around me right now. Probably more. So as I mentioned, the only exception to wild crops is flax, because flax is just that important. It'll make room for it, but like the cassava that's back there, I'm not going to bother with. Ooh, crabs. Alright, the biome's obviously getting a lot more lush. I am going to work my way back. Make sure I'm not going to eaten by hyenas. Work my way back home. Following the sort of grass. Oh, here's clay. Perfect. Alright, before I harvest the clay, I'm going to fill up my food and water. Which termites are rotting sooner? 15 stack, got it. Alright, let's grab a whole bunch of this clay. We can always come back here for more. But I'm going to want, like... maybe 3 stacks of it? You've always found Vintage Story predator density to be ridiculous? Yes. Don't come this way. I mean, it would be one thing if the predators were not obligate carnivores. Right? Because then you could have high predator density and just be like, yeah, but normally they eat fruit or berries or, like, bugs or something. But, like, I am not sure what the hyena's typical diet is, but I imagine it isn't fruit and berries. Aren't they obligate carnivores? I mean, I would assume? I don't know. I don't know animals not in America very well. North America. I imagine they're more carrion too. If I recall correctly, they're kind of like a opportunistic carrion carnivore, obligate carnivore. So they eat corpses hunted by other animals and bones. Because I think their jaws are designed to crush bone very well, whereas like some of the big cats don't do that as well. So if I'm not mistaken, hyenas eat a lot of like bone marrow and things of that nature. Alright, I've got almost 3 stacks of clay. I'll just go until my shovel breaks. Oh, I got more than 3 stacks. Cool. There's a lot of clay here. Come on, shovel, just break already. I want to get home. I want to start making clay forms. There we go. Alright, I'm gonna make a new shovel, just because I don't want to get stuck in terrain without one, because it could be a life-saving tool. Okay. Home is... What is that? It's a rooster. Home is this way, and keep our eyes open for more copper. I could also pick up the lake copper that I found earlier, the native copper bits, but that's like on the other side of my home. But it looks like the weather is slightly more cooperative. I can actually see stuff, which is awesome. Oh, getting a little close. Yeah, go away. They're easy. I mean, if you're wondering why I didn't continue fighting it, it's nowhere near death. And if I reapproached, it would re-engage and probably not leave me alone. So it's best to just give them a warning poke and be done with it until I'm actually ready to, like, hunt in earnest, which I am not. And I'm taking a slightly roundabout way of returning home, only because there was very low plant density here, so it's pretty easy to see nuggets. So I'm hoping to spot nuggets. Native copper nuggets on the ground. So this is the mountain range just west of my home. Maybe I'll swing around the mountain and return home that way. Go the long way. Just to cover more ground. With all you helping to spot. Well, duh. It does get a little denser. As a general... Oh, more clay. I'll just punch it to mark it down. As a general rule of thumb, I like to avoid dense areas like this, because it's very easy to get backed into a corner and, like, eaten by something that wants to make a lunch out of you. Or falling into a hole that was obscured by vines and bushes and the like. Berry bushes. Oh, actually, can I mark them down even though I don't? No, I can't. But I can grab these. And more clay. Well, if I needed a lot of red clay, I've certainly found a ton. Unfortunately, I'm after copper, so... And porcelain tools don't work that well. Now, the other thing that will affect your ability to find surface copper nuggets is soil depth, because the surface nuggets only really exist when the node of copper is within like 5 tiles of the surface. I'll mark the flax down for later. So if the soil's really thick, unusually thick, you might not find a lot of surface copper as a result. It's not to say that that is what's happening to me, but it's a theory I have why it's a bit of a struggle. So we've worked our way around the base of that mountain range, and oh, more more fire clay. Also, I think I hear bees. No, maybe not. Come on. Where's my copper? Alright, I need to make room for more berries. What do I drop? One of my almost broken axes, I guess. Well, inventory is completely full. So let's definitely head back. I've already been through this way because I have these berry bushes marked down. That's a weird place for a sunflower, like in a pit. Soybeans. Well, I foresee copper being a recurring struggle, but that's all in the nature of the game, I guess. The other thing I could do is burn the fields here, set fire to the open plains, and it would make finding nuggets a lot easier because there wouldn't be all this grass in the way. I probably won't do that until I have the ability to butcher animals, though, because any animals that are caught up in the fire will die, and if I don't have the capacity to, like, properly butcher them, it's a bit of a waste. Guess what I'll do for my sanity is to go fetch the native copper bits that I found over here so that there are no surface copper bits that I haven't yet fetched, and then we'll work our way back to base. But the grass is a lot less dense here, so if there was ever a place to spot copper, it'd be here. While it's like not foggy and sandstormy. God, I am just in the middle of hyena hell. Good God. They're everywhere. Oh, even the native copper bits are... Yeah, go away. Thought they were here. Did I pick these up? Oh, no, it wasn't them. It was over here. I'm running low on daylight. Tonight will be the clay forms night. For sure. Was the previous bits before I had baskets? So it wasn't those? Okay, I'm gonna return home now before I'm out of daylight. I know my limit. There was a bit right next to me while I was looking at the map. Oh God, seriously? I'm just blind. that there is. Good God. All right, hold on. And that's how easy they are to miss. So I have 11 so far. And this is why it's helpful to have you guys be my eyes. Because I'm obliviously blind sometimes. So in terms of clay forms, I mostly just need dry grass, which is pretty easy to obtain anywhere. So I'm not too worried about the materials needed for the clay forming that we're going to do tonight. It's 10 grass per thing I want to go burn, and I have plenty of fire. Well, I can get more firewood, but I already have plenty of firewood and sticks I can make out of the firewood. Man, that gazelle or whatever would be so easy to kill. It's like stuck in the hills. Wow, there's termites really close to base. And you can very easily see where I live, because it... Oh! Good lord! It almost got hit. Oh, look at all the fish! Hi, fishies. Okay, maybe what I'll do is... No, I'm going to immediately start working in clay forms, because I really don't have a place to put the fish. So, current priority right now is make clay stuff. Yeah, that's right, stuff. Okay, so the first thing I want to make is a storage vessel. A storage vessel allows you to store food more efficiently. Ideally, you want to store food in a storage vessel that is then in a room with a door with like no exposed sunlight, because that keeps food fresh for so much very longer. It's called a cellar. And cellars can be rooms up to 7 by 7 by 7, and they should be earthen or stonework and with no windows. And that's going to be a really important thing for us to do for food preservation, because I live near the equator. And being near the equator means it is very hot all the time and food will rot very quickly. Like, right now, my food perish speed is 1.89. It's almost twice as fast as normal because it's 30 degrees Celsius out. Hope I don't have to pan for copper. Nah, I'm not going to go that far. So these clay vessels are going to help me to store my food. So getting a clay vessel is going to be really important. After we get the clay vessel, I'm also going to want a hammer and pick form. And then also probably a crucible, a few cooking bowls, a few eating bowls, stuff like that. So I'm going to make all of that tonight. The second bits were not... I'll read that in a minute. It's hard to do clay forming and read that at the same time. And there we go. Got our raw red clay storage vessel. Thank you for tuning in to Vintage Story Primitive Survival, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Seraphs.